Hey babes, it's Queenie. I kind of wanted to ramble a little bit tonight. I'm going to try to keep it bite-sized, but I don't want to get out of the habit of doing videos on a kind of regular basis. And this has been on my mind a little bit lately, and it's truth in tarot readings. Okay. I got an ask on Tumblr a while ago, and someone asked me about they did a reading for a family friend or a relative, and they saw some shit coming up in the cards, and they didn't tell this person what they saw. And they kind of were just asking, like, what to do in a situation like that. Is that okay to do? And so on and so forth. And I really don't think it's okay. I don't think it's ever okay to do that. Rookie mistake, no big deal, but don't keep the truth from your clients. Don't keep the truth from your clients. It's so important. Your job as a reader is kind of like a translator. This is what the cards are saying. You read the cards and you tell the client what the cards say. But you also have an additional role to provide support and advice, to support the cards and to support your client at the same time. So always tell the truth. Don't give half truths. Don't leave anything out. It's not always going to be pretty. Tarot readings are not always going to be pretty. They're not always going to be what your client wants to hear. It's not always going to be what they're ready to hear, but you got to tell them anyway. Let them process it on their own time. Okay, let them take whatever bad news that you don't want to share. Let them take that and prepare. Let them get ready for what's coming. Let them change course, avoid it altogether. There are a lot of reasons to give your clients the truth. And it's going to be a difficult or uncomfortable moment, but in the long run, it's doing them more good than not by telling them what's going on and what you truly see in the cards. So that's number one. Always tell the truth, even if it's not pretty. Is a Line Strider tarot mug that I got from Coffee and Tarot. Thank you, Potter. I love that cup. Okay. Number two. How are you going to deliver this bad news? Okay. There's discussions that go on every now and again about what delivery method is better, whether being totally blunt and upfront and direct and straightforward is better, or being gentle and using hints and not making any bold and aggressive statements about whatever. I really don't think one is better than the other. I would much rather use gentleness than total bluntness, but I will do both. I'll be blunt if I need to be. And especially if there's an established relationship between myself and a client and we seem to be going over the same types of situations or the same situation, and there's been a progression or a lack of progression, I will get progressively more blunt with that person if the message is staying the same and it's not getting through. But whatever method you use, there's a way to do it tactfully. There's a way to do it with grace and compassion and supportively. Even if you're being blunt, you can be blunt supportively. We all have that one friend, okay? We all have that one friend that tells it like it is and loves you anyway, but tells you when you're fucking up. Sometimes you need that friend. You may not like her as much as your other friends, but sometimes you need that friend, and that's why you'll go. So, yeah, there's no excuse ever to be tactless. You don't ever have to talk down to your client or make them feel stupid or make them feel shitty. Your clients should not walk away feeling shitty about themselves because of something that you said. Okay? Ever. There's no reason for that. Your job, I think. Okay, this is all my personal opinion. Okay, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I don't care. Your job, my job as a reader, is to support the client and to encourage them, and you're on their side. You have to be on their side. Bottom line. So if you're on their side, they shouldn't be leaving you feeling like a piece of shit for something that you said because, you want to be blunt and direct. You don't have to do it that way. It shouldn't be done that way, ever. So how should you be blunt? When should you be blunt? What is the point of being blunt if you're not, shitting all over your clients? Reminding them that they are responsible for themselves, responsible for their lives. This is what needs to be done. You have to let them know that, yeah, you know what? You got yourself into kind of a shitty situation, but you can get yourself out. Here's how. Or, you feel stuck right now. Get up and go do something. This is the kind of stuff that you'd be, talking to with your friends. Like, if your friend is complaining about her weight, eventually you're going to be like, you know what? If you're not happy, go work out, right? Eventually you're going to get to that point where it's like, go do something about it. But then you're like, let's join a gym together. Let's do it together. You know what I mean? So you can be blunt and supportive at the same time. You can stop your clients from playing victim while supporting them at the same time. You want to reinforce the message that they have the power to change the things that they need to change in their lives. And you can reinforce the message that sitting around and moping about shit isn't getting them anywhere in a supportive way. You can do that in an encouraging and empowering way. That is what you want to be. That is your goal, to be empowering, to give them the feeling of control for things. Even if they don't want to take responsibility for things, eventually it's going to sink in if you deliver it in a way that is inspiring and encouraging. I had a client just a couple weeks ago, actually, who I was pretty direct with. And this happens all the time. Every time I feel like, shit, Nicole, maybe you should have worded that a bit differently. Maybe you should have gone a little bit easier on her. It'll be a couple days or a week later or 2 weeks later, I'll get an email back and they will be thanking me because that's what they needed to hear. It's not what they wanted to hear, but it's what they needed. And yeah, it takes some time to sink in sometimes. But the truth is always going to be more helpful than a beautiful lie, than a rainbow unicorn half look at a situation. The truth is always going to be more helpful. So that's my ramble. That's how I feel about telling the truth and how to tell the truth and what to do with the truth when I'm reading for tarot. And I'd like to hear your thoughts if you have any. Agree, disagree. How do you handle delivering bad news? How do you light a fire under your client's ass when it's clear that somebody needs to be lighting a fire? How do you like your news to be delivered when you get readings from other people? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.